Oh man. Karma is so real. I was newly married, maybe only 6 months. My second marriage. My Mill was 82 years old at that time and a diabetic and had high blood pressure etc. and had already been deteriorating, slowly but surely. My husband was her only child. She has been sickly and in and out of hospitals even prior to our marriage. So within that 6-month period of our marriage, she went into hospital once again, and being new to seeing her in such a bad condition, I thought she might not make it out of hospital. I prayed hard for her to come home so I could take more care of her, as I myself had lost my mum at a very young age. Also believing that if my own mum was alive that she would have been at this age too. And I would have taken care of her. So when my Mill did come back home, we decided to have a prayer during Thanksgiving. So families came to the prayers, his relatives mostly but very few of my own due to the distance or commitments. Anyway, one of husband's relatives is a doctor and she attended it too. While sitting through that prayer meeting, she started to text my husband, stating that my Mill was deteriorating due to my negligence of her, etc. And that I was the one causing her health to worsen. Also saying I was not what I was showing him to be, etc. She really texted to tell him that I was the reason for her health deteriorating. Please know that I was employing 5 helpers in order to have my Mill looked after to the best standard possible, and they were all overseen by me. No expenses were spared for my MIL's wellness. Hubby, Mill and me were all in the same house. All her special meals were made fresh and suitable to her diet. These nurses were employed as in-house care for her, yet at baths and feeds I would always be there as a party to the feeding and bathing etc. I took it upon myself to personally ensure that all is done well for her. In between times I would take her onto the balcony to spend time with her and talk and joke etc. Back to the prayer meeting gathering, this doctor relative of his sent a few texts to my husband really indicating that in her knowledge of being a doctor that I am not taking good care of her, and for that reason Mill is worsening. I was not aware of the text messages at that time. The next day, I came to hear that the lady doctor had been taking her dirty laundry to the washing machine, and somehow on a very flat surface area, she got tangled in her own load of laundry and fell. She broke her ankle when she fell. I still can't imagine how anyone could fall like that on a flat surface and get tangled in their own laundry and end up breaking their ankle. Yet after all the x-rays and checks, she ended having a steel rod put in her right foot. And she now permanently walks with a swag. The best part? While the husband did not ever mention the text message to me, the lady doctor called a month after her fall, to confess what she did, and said that she is reminded every day of what she had done the day before against me. She said that she got punished the very next day for her deeds. That is karma, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't have any idea what she had done behind my back, and at that time I didn't even know her as I was newly married. I hadn't met all of his relatives personally to know anyone well enough except a handful of his closest relatives. Our marriage was a very small affair where only a few people were invited. I hope this real experience of karma answers the question. My first real answer to a question.